Number one storyline, for us at least on this show, was, hey, what's up with Carson Beck? Because he missed spring practice. A little elbow injury. Report is he is back to 100%. I think Carson Beck, the way that he phrased it was he feels juiced up with his throwing arm. That's a good thing. Offense still building chemistry. Okay, so you get excited about Beck and the talent. You also understand now you missed 15 key practices when it comes to installing the offense. The offense is still building that unspoken language, if you will, of knowing where everyone's going to be if you're the quarterback. Wide receivers still too early. That's an area of concern. Feels a little bit harsh this early in fall camp. Something just to watch. Now, I've said this before. I feel really good about the raw ingredients. I feel great about Keelan Marion, Malachi Tony, Josiah Trader. But they got to do it, dude. They got to do it and make me right, make Mario Cristobal right, make Carson Beck right. Like, you still have to do it because that was a big part of what the offense was a year ago, was you had Xavier Restrepo, Jacoby George. We could name names for a while. You had guys, real dudes now, to go make plays for a Cam Ward that allowed him to go be the number one overall pick in last year's draft. So if you're a Canes fan, you're hearing me say these words out loud, you say, wait a second, we're paying that dude, what, $4 million? And we're not 110% sure about the offense right now? It's fall camp. Deep breath in, deep breath out. It's good for you. It's also just helps you put things in perspective here. This is not abnormal for fall camp, so let's not freak out too much. Cam Ward was generating a different level of buzz, I would say, this time a year ago. But I also talked to somebody close to the program that said, hey, man, I was there during fall camp and saw Cam Ward during one practice throw 3 interceptions. It's not a linear progression, regardless of what social media tells you or these analysts tell you. Like, it takes some time. So Miami offensively, as a passing game, in the take some time phase. Now, when it comes to how they're going to run the football, that is a different story. They feel great about the offensive line. They feel great about the running back room. They think they're 3-4 deep there. They are going to have a different ability this year to at least have the luxury of maybe getting in some more rock fights. Now, I don't think that's their plan, if I know how Miami wants to operate and how Shannon Dawson's going to call the offense. But I was told, do not be shocked if the game against Notre Dame to start the year in Hard Rock is like a Bloody Knuckles kind of situation. You ever played Bloody Knuckles? If you haven't, I wouldn't recommend it. But there's always that psychotic kid during elementary school who wants to play Bloody Knuckles any chance he has like a break during class, which is just like you beat your knuckles against each other until one of them bleeds. That might be Miami, the first game of the year. Hey, Carson Beck, we're still figuring it out. We're still getting him comfortable. We're just going to run power inside zone until we eat your heart out, Notre Dame, and that's going to be how we go. You got a first-year quarterback. We got a first-year quarterback. A first-year starter quarterback, that is, for us in Coral Gables. Bloody Knuckles for the first 3 quarters of this thing until we get it going in the pass game. This is going to put, I think, more of an emphasis on Shannon Dawson as a play caller and how he can adapt his offense with new personnel. Because let's be real here. Shannon Dawson deserves a lot of credit for what Miami was offensively a year ago with Cam Ward. The other part of that reality is Cam Ward was the best quarterback arguably in college football last year. Okay? How can you adapt when you don't have that? How can you adapt when you have to maybe call a little bit more of a rock fightish, bloody knuckle style of offense? Excited to see it, think he can do it, but if and when that happens, credit Shannon Dawson for being able to manipulate games that way. Now, defensively, Ruben Bain looks awesome. Something you're excited about if you're a Miami fan. He was a dog as a true freshman. Sounds like he's back to that form at 100%. Defensively, they feel like they are just in a much better spot from a depth perspective. A lot of transfers. They redid that staff on the defensive side. Corey Hezerman, new DC from Minnesota. I've been told he is extremely intense, but not in the sense where he's just like dog cussing everyone. He's a teacher is what he is, like always teaching, always trying to get everyone up to speed, not just a fire and brimstone kind of guy running around at practice, which I think is a good thing in modern college football. The big takeaway that I heard talking to people close to Miami around the defense is schematically, they will be more simple. Now, simple from a fan base perspective, you hear that and you're like, so we're going to be able to just get sliced and diced by every quarterback that can read backwards and forwards in college football. Like, that's not a good thing, right? I hear you, but I think if you trust your personnel, which it sounds like Miami does going into this upcoming season, what was the problem last year for Miami? On the defensive side, sounds like it was a lot of it going on upstairs. Whether it was a focus thing or a being locked in thing, a lot of mental errors, a lot of thinking out there for Miami. This defense is supposed to equip their personnel to just play ball, right? Just go be a football player, use your instincts, do what you recruited here to do, and go play football. I like that philosophy personally if I'm calling the defense for Miami. So I get excited about that. Overall, middle of the roster is way stronger than it was a year ago. All right? Middle of the roster is way stronger. What I mean by that is the top-end talent, maybe you don't have Cam Ward on this roster. Maybe you don't have Xavier Restrepo. Like, we go down the line here. But they feel really, really good about the depth they've built, and they feel really good about the guys they're going to count on in the month of November, and so on and so forth. So, I mean, they think this is the best roster they've had since Mario Cristobal has gotten there. Year 3 players now, and Mawanoa and Bain, said it before, they're more in leadership positions here for Miami. I'm just curious to see how that translates to setting the temperature, because there's a lot of guys that are showing up in Miami for the first time, a lot of transfer pieces. Those year 3 players that got there with Cristobal, that have, heard the same messaging for the last 3 seasons, what does that equate to when it comes to getting those guys on the same page? Because leadership in your locker room, say what you want about a head coach, say what you want about a staff, the best teams are player-led. And Miami now is in a unique spot where those players that have been around Cristobal are in a more leadership accessible spot for my money. So I don't question the college football playoff tires. I question you have college football playoff horsepower. Miami had the opposite of that last year. Do you have the off-road tires to go with horsepower this year? We'll see. It's going to be on Carson Beck. But a lot of good stuff from Miami. Again, make sure you are subscribed. Good stuff from Gary Freeman and the team over at Kane Sport. Got you taken care of when it comes to all the intel for fall camp and into the season itself. So let's get locked in, man. College football season is here.